Hey there, Darkstar here. Gonna try a flight up in Alaska on VATSIM, quote unquote. I don't think there's any controlled airspace up here right now, so hopefully it'll be easy. Just trying to practice before I get on for real. So I'm going to, so I've been doing my plan. Shoot. Well, let's get on the ground first, I think, and then we'll try and bring some things up here. But I've got the simbrief loaded into here. I'm going to try and copy this out, and then spawning on the ground. I hope I have a parking spot here, going from, and I need to write this down, Valdez. To Nikolai. Valdez to Nikolai. Okay. I think if we go here and we say send to ATC and avionics, we will get a better route. Oh man, this thing's killing me. Very short flight. But we're going to take off here from Valdez, out over the water, fly up through here, gain a bunch of altitude, fly over the mountains. We're going to go over this kind of main area, like where Ted Stevens is and some of those other bigger airports. Then we fly over these mountains, and we're not actually going this way, so this is not quite correct. Let's see if we can get some of these other waypoints in here. Okay, so at Elam, okay, so it's PAVD Fjord 1, Elam, direct to, and then a whole bunch of other stuff, and then to the final airport. So at Winor, oh man, it deleted my airport. What? I think I deleted airport there. I'm hoping to get 23 here, RNAV 23. Let's just say if it is 5, then what? Okay, there's an RNAV 5 as well, but we'll come up the other side. We could actually go ahead and do that. Let's just say it's RNAV 5. It'll be via Hopco. Right, and if it's 23, it'll be by Hibbu. I'm in the other side here, Hibbu, right there, actually. We would fly over to here, come in that direction from Winor. But it said 5, so let's take that, I guess. Okay. And I went ahead and I got all the channels and like all the frequencies on my notepad. And the weathers, although I need to get the weather here now. So what are we looking at? We are marginal VFR. No wind, interesting. So winds are 0 at 0. And we're looking at 2981. Which is 109. And it's 9C out. So cold. And broken clouds at 2,500, overcast at 3,000. Altimeter 2981, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm filing IFR, but oh, nice. You can start this from here now. You don't have to go down to here and start. Okay, parking 3. Oh, come on! Did you just erase my whole flight plan? Oh my god. Dang. I guess, well, yeah, I guess let's do that. Okay, pure Elam. Blah, 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 winner. Now it's pick 23 on here for some reason. So I'll pick 23, we'll do that one. Muched. That way we're not coming in at a sharp angle and having to take a hard left. We'll come in and take a not so hard left and then another 90-degree left. Do not mess with my settings, man. Okay, there we go. So we're coming in on parking 3. I think it messed up my flight time. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so now with that, I have to go over to VATSIM and file my flight plan there, the abbreviated one. I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if I should. Well, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in at Valdez. Okay, so it's got my call sign is November 012 Sierra Bravo. That is what we put. Okay, we want to make sure we're on live weather and live time. Whoa. Go ahead and do our little pre-flight here. Boing. Now, I do not know what the rules are as far as like actually starting your plane when you're on a flight plan. I know I need the plane on to use the radio. That's going to be one thing. Okay, let's see. We got aircraft type is PC-12. It's a light aircraft. It's got our equipment and transponder codes already. Altitude 26,000 feet. Off block time of 2250. Are we going to make that? We got 9 minutes if we're going to make that. In rally time 1 hour. Okay. Remarks. Marking as. Voice roll. File flight plan. Fuel time must be filled and 4 characters. Let's see how much fuel are we actually going to have. Well, we have way more than enough. But we could always add more. Let's go with 2,000 pounds, roughly. And then we'll give a fuel time of 2 hours for a 1 hour flight. All right, flight plan has been filed. Now we need to connect to the VATSIM network using vPilot. Okay, it's got my VATSIM ID. Push to talk is button 1 on Alpha Flight Controls. That should be correct. Okay, we connect. We're going to be call sign November 012 Sierra Bravo. We are type code PC-12. PC-12, just a whole variety of PC-12s. We're not going to have a cell cal code. And we're not going to connect as an observer. Oh, whoa. There's not appear to be any controller providing clearance delivery services at your departure airport PAVD. Please squawk 2216 or your IFR flight. Okay, so we got our first squawk is going to be 2216. This will aid in your identification by any ATC that may be online later in your flight, and we do indeed have nobody showing up. Okay, consider supporting VATSIM. November 12 Sierra Bravo. Let's mark that too. stay in the foreground, because we, nope, I may have undone it. There we go, that did it. Although that now makes it hard to see other things, that's okay. We'll get rid of our logo and flight label. Let's get powered up, I guess. So first we want battery 1, battery 2, emergency power armed, standby bus, avionics bus on. We want our beacon on. And we will let the avionics come up. We need enough we can see our engine. Okay, just kind of a pre-flight, make sure throttle is at idle here, flaps are up, gear lever is down, and I'm pre-flighting my controls because if they're wrong then it'll try and raise the gear when I start. Okay, everything's set on the controllers. Controls are working. Let's go ahead and go run and start. Oh, and parking brake was set too. Go ahead and turn on our synthetic vision. Alright, we can get our generators on. Cabin bus doesn't work. External power we don't have. We'll want to get our probes on here in a bit. Bleed air is auto. These are all auto. We can go ahead and get the oxygen on now. Alright, and we needed to set our squawk, right? Well, I like to do that down here. So we've got transponder. We can go 2216. 2216. Enter. Apply. So we're now squawking 2116 with altitude. I believe they call mode C. Alright, let's see if we can upload our flight plan. Okay. So fly, heading select to intercept. Blah, blah, blah. Fjord, Elam on up. Then we've got up to Winor, and then we don't need that. This is the approach. Uh-oh. And it died. Okay, it obviously doesn't want me to have any fun today. I don't know if this is a beta 3 feature or what. "30 minutes of loading time." So I did the fun thing where I went into SU3 beta and downloaded the whole world, 500 gig or so. Sluggo less than, I think. That took a while. So you go into your marketplace, you go to like manage your library, and then like I think I went to streamed first, and then you select things and say download them, and then when they're downloaded, you can then select them and then install them. That took a little while. But oddly, between once they were downloaded, installing them didn't take any more space. So I don't know if it's just moving things over or what it was doing. At least I didn't notice it taking appreciably more space. Might be unpacking something. Definitely took a while. Maybe I should go off beta. And I hear that if you go to beta, you download stuff, it's installed, you can switch back to SU2 and still have the downloaded things. So that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, that was a lot to download overnight. It also had some kind of weird issue. Like I selected everything and downloaded, and like it took a while to run, and then I got bored and I went ahead and did a flight, and then this morning it looked like most things had downloaded, but there were several things that had not yet downloaded, so I had to reselect them and re-download them. And then one of the installs got hung, and I had to kill it, and then restart it up, and then everything after that seemed okay. So I don't know. I hope killing it in that install didn't leave that thing in a bad state and could potentially be a reason for a crash. One thing I would like something like Navigraph to do is print out a cheat sheet for you. Like a summarized, here's the airports, here's the, you know, the frequencies at those airports. Suppose while that's going, we could go into here. We just kind of review things. Navigraph's working. One thing we can do on Navigraph that I really like, we can see the other planes flying around. So these are the VATSIM planes that will be appearing. So we might see some of these guys in passing anyway. There's a whole lot of people flying outside of controlled airspaces. Of course, the US is pretty busy right now, prime time Sunday night, all the way down through the Caribbean. So these are areas with controllers, and if you like, you go here and you click on that, so you can, you can see center is online for 30 minutes. Like this is Seattle area, so there's a controller there, and then there's an approach online here, and then there's this guy. I don't know if these are different or the same. Portland approach, KPDX approach, and also running ATIS, so you'll see that A there. But nobody seems to be in tower, which is kind of interesting. But what I should do is find some area with like just a few people. Once I get the hang of this. I think I've spent probably over an hour, hour and a half just trying to find airports to fly in and out of. And get that part done. So that's been fun. So what was it saying? It was picking 23 mooch, right? So that would look like that. It's easy to swap these if we need to. Somebody needs to really standardize this syntax too. I see 3 or 4 different syntaxes. I would go even further. I would say there should be a dot here because it's a connected departure, right? So I think it would make more sense to say PAVD/24.fjord1 elam, or maybe even 421.elam, and then these other ones. I don't know, just something in my brain says those are off. That it could be better. All right, well, it's up, so let's try again. Okay, at least we have everything here. PAVD? Nope. Parking 3. Arrival. PAFS, Nikolai. Parking 3, just for the symmetry of it. I think I'm gonna load in here now. Here we go again. Okay, we're gonna do an expedited start this time. I already know my controls are set up. So we just need battery, emergency, avionics, standby, avionics, beacon, nav. And as soon as we can see engine, we will go ahead and start. My guess is we're going to get a new squawk code. So I'll find out when I connect, I guess. Okay, engine's up. We go run, we go start. Blades are turning. Normally I would wait, but go ahead and turn the generators on. Go ahead and turn the strobe on. Taxi, landing. And we don't need those, we're alone. Alright, let's try to connect. Still got our prior information. Before we do, I want to set my comm radio up to be .9, right? What? 112.9. Why isn't that coming up? Okay, so 112.9 is ground, and the other frequency we want is 119. There's got to be a better way to enter this stuff. I thought there was down here. I don't understand why it's not working. Alright, calm. Ooh. I think if I click that, I can just type it. Let's try it. 119. No.
Papa Alpha Victor Delta automated weather observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 254 at 10. Visibility 10. Sky condition ceiling 1700 overcast. Temperature 11C. Dew point 6C. Altimeter 29er tree. Papa Alpha Victor Delta automated weather observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 254 at 10. Visibility 10. Sky condition ceiling 1700 overcast. Temperature 11C. Dew point 6C. Altimeter 29er tree. Papa Alpha Victor Delta automated weather observation.
Okay, so one thing I need to do is I need to turn this off for sure. And I think also want to turn subtitles off. I want to make sure unlimited fuel is not on. But okay, so, wait, what happened to my frequencies? .119.3 is center. Why did this go to 118.8? I don't even know what the heck 118.8 is. Seemed like it was giving me ATIS. I don't know. But what I really want, okay, so 119.3 is center. So 122.9 would be ground. So 112.9 here would be ground. Oh yeah, look at that. It doesn't list it. So like if we go what's kind of low this import route. I loaded it up here as well. Go ahead and activate. Oh my god. That's killing it. Wait. Let's try to drop the beta. It's almost done. I've only got 2 more hours to get a 1-hour flight. This might take a while. So we just gonna do Valdez traffic then, I guess, when we're on the radio? I don't even know what to say. I'm just gonna say stuff. I don't know if there's something wrong with this flight plan. I don't think I'm gonna import the flight plan this time, because I can do the thing where you just paste in the route. So another thing I want to do one of these days soon is do a challenging airport series. So there's one called Paro International Airport in Bhutan. Code is Victor Quebec Papa Romeo. That one looks like kind of an interesting approach. You kind of have to come in and like circle around, you know, in this valley and dogleg at the last minute onto the runway. And then of course there's like Saba and Courchevel, and then there's one I did before early on in my Microsoft career here. I'll have to go find out what it is. I'll try and find out right now because I want to. Ah, here it is. It was in Malaysia. Bakalan. Whiskey Bravo Golf Quebec. Bakalan Airport, Malaysia. I did not do well the first time I tried to land there. Brought a PC-12 in. just kind of like on a visual approach because it doesn't have approach procedures. Blue, which brings you in over the mountain. Then you have to fly down this steep mountain slope, and then you're going way too fast to possibly land at this little tiny airport. I was in a PC-12. I had to do a go around, and it was like very cloudy because, you know, live weather and everything on. This was in career mode actually. Come on. So I did not know the Caribbean island of Saba belonged to the Netherlands. That's just wrong. We need to get all those countries back to, I don't know, better stewards than the Netherlands, US, France, Spain, all those places that have laid claim to all these little islands all over the place. Probably not going to happen. Oh, this is so slow. PAVD, come on. And PAFS. And parking 3, and parking 3. I think after the stream, I might test loading this flight plan in again, but I'm not going to do it now. This is ridiculous. I should have been done with this frickin' flight by now. Covers, remove all. Well, I kind of need to get the plane on to load the route in properly, so. God, I hate this thing up here. It takes up so much at the top of your screen when you're trying to reach up here on this ceiling. So like I can't look at the screen and hit the frickin' buttons. Okay, let's get our fuel back loaded. We're gonna go with 2,000 pounds. Somebody working on a persistence mod where keeps track of your planes, so you'd come back with the same fuel you left. I don't know why the game doesn't do that. Okay, we want to just edit this, paste that in, and see if that works. Well, it didn't crash this time. Departure forward via Elam, Winor 20. Okay, it's picked 5 again, RNAV 5, and Hopgo. And send ATC and avionics. And now the $64,000 question is, will it crash? It did not. Hurrah. You know what? It doesn't really do anything in the plane to turn that on, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and hit cab low. Let's get our overlay back on. And let's get our initial altitude in, I think it was 2,000. Well, now this is not going to tell me anymore. So I have to go back to my simbrief. 2,600. Not 2,600. 26,000. Okay, messages. Let's set our altimeter. Let's go to this and just compare what we get. And I can't see it or hear it now until I get on VATSIM. We are... Let's go ahead and connect to VATSIM. November 012 Sierra Bravo, PC-12, connect. And now vPilot has crashed. Okay. Restarted it. Connect. That means we have a message. It has now given us the same code. So that's good. Let's see if we can get this to work. This has always worked for me before. Maybe it's a beta thing. 2216. Apply and close. 2216. Okay. Now, if I go calm, okay. So now I think I can just type numbers on my keypad. So I actually want to swap that. And then I want to go... No, I didn't want to swap it. Now I want this to be... and I want to do ground 122.9. 122.9. Enter. Okay. Now what I don't know how to do is make this be COM 2. I think I just hit, I think I hit this. So we'll go here. We want this to be, actually we want this one to be ATIS. So let's say 118. 118.8. Enter that, and then, oh, there's COM1 and COM2. Oh, I bet that's which one you would transmit on. Okay, and then there's a swap button. So I can put that in the active, but then it doesn't show up here. Let's try and enter it this way then. This should be 118.8. Terrible at this. 118.8. Okay, and then why do we have so many 118.8s? What happened to my other frequencies? Why is it changing my frequencies? I swear I didn't enter 118.8 that many freaking times. I'll go back and watch the video just in case I screwed it up, but okay, I want this to be 122.9. I'm about ready to start cheating and just using the frickin' tablet and just hitting set. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. Annoying as frick. And this one's 1193. Okay, so this is ground, this is center, this is ATIS, and then what would this one be? Either FSS or multicom, I guess. Oh, I know what this one should be. It should be 121.5. Okay, 121.5. Let's go with that. Let's just say we have 121.5. Let's see. So in general, we're supposed to monitor 121.5. Clearance is craft. Clearance route altitude frequency transponder. Okay, we got our squawk up. We have no frequencies to talk to. And I don't understand why I'm not getting automated ATIS on this frequency right here. My guess is there isn't one. We're not going to be using that anymore. Well, I can use it to tune frequencies if I need to. But it's always going to, well, if I go here maybe. Yeah. Okay. So I could use it that way. I could use it to tune frequencies. When I got probes on, we got oxygen, we did low cab. We got all our lights on. I think we're ready to taxi. I don't see, well, yeah, we might need some anti-ice. So if we do, we can put our wing light on here. We can put our, where's the anti-icing in here? That one, and boots. Boots are off, okay. Now, about that weather, can we get an automated weather information? 2993, that's what came up here. Okay. Okay, let's try our first transmission here. We want... I don't understand why it says I'm transmitting on COM 2. Like, this is where we're transmitting, right? So 121.5 is what they're using as the CTAF, the Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, for non-towered, uncontrolled or pilot-controlled airports, which allow pilots to coordinate amongst themselves to ensure proper aircraft separations. Pilot will advise other aircraft on CTAF their position and intentions. When part-time tower closes, the airport reverts to using CTAF. More here and here and here. How is it different from Unicom? Unicom is actually blah blah blah. Common frequencies to coordinate. Well, no, Unicom frequencies are used to communicate with non-ATC ground stations such as FBOs or whatever. Not the same as a CTAF. How to use, which frequency to use. Well, I say let's just use 121.5, I guess. I can't remember if Navigraph has I don't know if it has a VFR chart that I can reference. Oh shit. PAVD. Valdez. Got the same info there, that's good. I can't tell for sure what I'm going to be transmitting on though. So I'm a little confused by that. Oh my god, I need more than 1 pixel for a border, people. Come on. Stupid Windows, man. Okay, I guess, let's see. Can I transmit on COM2? Go with a smaller font here because this is ridiculous. What happened to the ability to have a smaller font? I'm on settings, interface scale, there it is. More interface per square inch, please. Alright, I guess we'll just give it a shot here. Valdez traffic. November 012 Sierra Bravo, taxiing to runway 24 for departure. That's probably redundant. I wish there was some kind of radio click or something you got on the radio. If that was indeed transmitting on COM2 for sure. Alright, let's get the parking brake off. And brake check, there we go. Get our flaps down, get our trim set. Verify our fuel, we've got over 2,000 pounds still. We need 1,000 for the flight, that should be good. If that even. We've got relative terrain up here. We don't have any cast messages. And we want to go out to the right here. Look at those mountains. We're picking up way too much speed because this plane is ridiculous. It doesn't have proper beta, which I complain about all the time. A helicopter landing spot? Just put a helipad right in the middle of the taxiway, huh? Okay. We're going 30 knots on idle. can't remember. This plane does not have spoilers. It does have reverse thrust. I think there's a thing where you're supposed to say Valdez traffic at the beginning and the end too. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, my things are up. That's wild. That should be 260. Okay, one more check for any traffic coming in. Also don't see anyone on my super radar here, so Valdez traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo, entering runway 24 for departure to Nicola. I probably should have said the Fjord 1 departure. Now you set idle. What are you doing? Okay, we got our altitude dialed in. We will tap our heading just in case we need it. What is going on? No? What? Are you on reverse thrust, you goofball? Let's try that again. Flaps coming up. Valdez traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo has departed on the Fjord 1 departure. Valdez traffic. Okay, we're climbing for 26,000. I did file an IFR flight plan. off to the right of our flight plan. Good thing we filed an IFR flight plan. We'd have to stay down low. Might be hard to get across the mountains here. And we are monitoring and on 121.5. Engines are looking good. Fuel burn's looking good. Don't have much way in the way of wind right now. Okay. Let's get our... I'll do 3-minute boots. That cycles the little inflatable things on the wing. Help get the ice off. On that interval, we'll get the lights on. So in theory, we can see them. These are the boots along the front edge of the wing. Probes on. Ready for a left here. feet. And I think we're clear of all that, all the weather. Not too bad. We're well above the mountains now. We don't see any terrain hazards. Pick up a little bit of speed here. I do wonder how persnickety they are. As far as how far off your flight plan you can be. Like, is this acceptable? I mean, I'm a little off to the right. Or converging back in, but like, would they say anything? Probably not, I would guess. Probably not so much en route. right, we are coming up on the actual fjord waypoint here. Yeah, fuel is good. Used about 80 pounds. Well, since we took off, it says 173 since we started. Which I would believe, because it took so long. Okay, we're into 10,000 feet and above. Let's see. Winds are still low. I was in like a 30 knot crazy winds, barely off the ground earlier. I was over in Poland. Doing some test flights over there. Getting blown around like crazy. And I was in the little Kodiak. It was brutal. I was kind of hoping we might hear some other pilots out there. I do not see anyone near us at the moment. Whoops, drifting off here. Might be worth putting on autopilot here for a bit. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep it going. What I could do is work on my trim. Now, one thing I don't know is, should I be using aileron trim or rudder trim? Doing a lot of aileron trimming and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, now it's doing something. But is it? I mean, it seems to me like it just went back to what it was. Looks like we got someone up here. Now, one interesting thing on VATSIM is it is, from what I understand at least, it is doing traffic injection. And I should probably disable, I think I have most traffic injection disabled already. But I have multiplayer on. I suppose you can turn that off too. But so it's taking X-plane positions, 2020 positions, maybe something else, and injecting them into here. So you can see where they are. And of course, when you're using your radio, in theory, all those people in those other networks can hear you because it's going through that sim itself, not going through the game. All right, we're at 15,000, climbing to 26,000. And we are 20 minutes from Elam. Elam is out there near like all the big areas, all the big airports. So you got Ted Stevens there is kind of the main one. Like that's the Anchorage airport. See, why is it doing that? Like it's just veering and veering and veering, and if I go like this...
Envelope.
Like, see, the plane, as it did it, and then it stopped. So the trim works, but then the plane resets it. It won't let it stay trimmed. I want to be going 140 right now, but if I go 140, I don't seem to be able to climb much. Alright, I'm gonna go autopilot for a minute here. So we'll go ahead and go heading, we'll go auto throttle, which we could have already done. We'll go flight level change. And what we really want to do is go nav mode, right? Lots of broken clouds. See through occasionally. So I'm going to say aileron trim in the PC-12 is broken. Alright, now as we're climbing up towards 20,000, which used to be a problem, we can watch this. This is going to cap out at 5.75 as your delta pressure. So we're at passing 18,000, right? But cabin pressure right now is 3,210. If we climbed all the way up to 30,000 feet, that would climb to about 10,000 feet cabin altitude. At 2,600, I don't know, it'll be 8,000 or 9,000. There's a manual with a chart and everything. So this is the longest leg. We'll let the autopilot pick these longer legs, I think. And then we can come down here and we can say we can hide that, right? And we can delete this discontinuity. Yeah, we could go standard barometer, or we could just go 29.92. And when we get there, I believe the barometer right now is 29.81. So as we start descending, we'll want to dial that down to 29.81. For my more realistic flights, I'm trying to get in the habit of dialing it down slowly so it doesn't have this like sharp transition when you're starting your when you're in the middle of your descent or whatever. It'll decide, oh, you're way off your descent, and I either need to level out or dive hard, or you know, it does kind of weird stuff. Why does that show top of climb right in front of us? There's no way we're that close to top of climb. We're not even at 20,000 feet yet. We got 6,000 feet to go. That, I would believe. That is supposedly the top of climb arc. This on upper MFD and get the lower MFD menu and go to avionics, and you can set like inches or hectopascals, and you can set up some other things on your avionics. Like I like the wind XY vector, but you can also change it to be have like an arrow, and you can also change it to be the I guess just those two. Heading, magnetic, or true. And this lets you change your flight path marker up here. So you can change it to kind of that style cue, the cross pointer style, or the flight path one. Kind of trying to get used to the flight path one. It's kind of interesting. The relative position of this little green arrow and this marker tells you if you would be gaining or losing airspeed at your current, you know, flight vector. So if you want to maintain your airspeed, you line those two things up. If you want to slow down, you know, pull back a little bit, and they'll separate out, and then you'll slow down until they align again. I haven't tried steep approach. Really matters very much. I don't think this one does anything yet. Sensors just tells you about your GPS. Doesn't really. I guess it gives you your RNP. And then of course your checklist. So not very good. They need more checklists. So far, no radio comms. Oh, hey man, how's it going? I'm doing an Alaska flight in the PC-12, and I am on the VATSIM network at the moment. So I'm on VATSIM. But I'm not in any controlled airspace, so there's no one around to talk to. Which is kind of what I wanted. I was, you know, I wanted to do the plan and everything. Kind of get used to a little bit more of that. And it is 7 p.m. now. I hope to arrive before too long. Looks like a little more than an hour now. But that'll come down when we reach top of climb and hit our cruise speed. So what are you up to tonight? You should join VATSIM. We are not climbing very rapidly. Did we actually get... It says we're at MCP. That's where we seem to be. Oh my gosh. Shameful, shameful, shameful. I forgot to get my gear up. Oh my goodness. Whoops. No wonder. I'm like, why isn't this thing climbing? So where are you at in NeoFly now? I hit Captain finally. I hate it when it does that. So, made Captain. I'm in a 78710. I'm, you know, 17 million. Plus this is, I don't know, like 10 million to rent or something, whatever it was. I had some really bad landings recently. Like this one. Almost 900 feet per minute on the landing on that one. And then 630 on that one. It was brutal. I'm not very good at the airliners. Okay, we seem to be at our target altitude, but we don't seem to be accelerating. So why is that? Auto throttle is on. I guess I could go to manual and see if it... There we go. thought it was sounding kind of weird. Don't want to go over speed, but I do want to go fast. I don't know what to do with NeoFly now. I don't really enjoy flying the airliners, and they're kind of the only way to make more money. Overspeed me here. Okay, so according to this, we have 5 hours of fuel. And now we're looking at 45 minutes en route. I'm about to fly over Anchorage. Let's see, there is nobody in my vicinity. Closest guy is in Airbus 350 or something. Going somewhere, doesn't say where. Here's a guy flying into Anchorage actually, but he's way behind us. What's he in? That's another Airbus. Nope, Boeing's. The code is B738. I'm not sure what that is. 737-8 maybe? Looks like he's 45 minutes from Anchorage, but I'll already be way past it here. He's flying into PANC. Yeah, PNC's Ted Stevens. We're a little bit north of there. That's PAVD down there. Then this little airport, AK-24 should be somewhere nearby, but I don't see it. Along in here somewhere. So at 8 p.m. in 50 minutes from now, Last of Us Season 2, episode whatever is released. So I'm hoping to be on the ground by then and go watch Last of Us. See how our arrival airport is looking weather-wise. Marginal VFR, wind 124 4 knots. Yeah, that's not bad. 10-mile visibility broken at 2,000, overcast 8,000. Altimeter 29.81. I do not know how to read the rest of this. So probably learn. Somewhere there should be a temperature of 9. Maybe that's what that means. RMK as remarks. Oh yeah, and there's the refresh button now. You can hit refresh. So again, 210 at 4. So that probably means, I can never remember. Do you want the runway opposite the wind? So the wind's coming out of 210. So we want a runway roughly aligned to 210, right? So that would be 23, which I think is the one we're aligned up on, but this is saying 5 is really recommended, but the wind's low enough that it doesn't matter. We have 5 selected right now. Okay. Is that the same over here? Runway 5, hop go. Okay. ETE 37 minutes. Looks like we've stabilized at 7,870 feet cabin altitude. We have our oxygen on. We do not need any of that on. We can turn off the wing lights. We can turn off the landing and taxi lights from a long time ago. That should be good. I guess if I'm going to forget to get the gear up, I can leave the lights on. Yeah, you want to land into the wind. I'm just trying to think of and I mean the wind direction they give you is where the wind is from, which suggests to me you want to be on that heading to land into the wind, as opposed to it being the direction the wind is going and you'd want to be opposite that. But I'm pretty sure the wind is out of 210, so ideally we would want to land on 23, I think. But this is saying that it's going to be a headwind on 05, which doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, 4 knots from 210. That tells you right there it's from 210. It's too bad this plane isn't allowed to go faster, because there's a lot of headroom there for this engine to go faster. Oh, now it's LIFR. Wow. Okay. So we're just after midnight UTC, so if we look an hour ahead, it's going to be about the same. How many days does that go? It's just giving me the same weather. So this is LIFR and this says MVFR. I wonder if this has any charts. RNAV5 is the one we're doing. So I actually can bring that up over here as well. I have it. So I've got the wrong chart up. Close that. Close that. We want to switch to RNAV5 via HOPGO. Okay, that's better. Okay, right now our min safe altitudes are 7,000. We need to be 10.2, 11.3 up here, 13.8. We're well above all of those. 9.7 coming into the airport vicinity. Let's see. So 7,400 out here, 3,000 as we get closer to HOPGO. I'm going to be 3,000 at HOPGO. 3,000, no procedure turn, course 319 up to Nurte. No procedure turn, so turn right. Course 049, ascend to 2,100 feet. Our MDA, minimum decision altitude, is going to be 900. So let's get that in. We do have the VSD now as well. Doesn't seem to work very well on here. we can see, so we'll actually be at 7,000 over Hopko, so that's fine. We'll be 3,000 at Nurte, 2,100 at Judd-up, I guess, 2,100, yeah, and then down to the runway. So that all lines up with the procedure. Now we need to do our minimums. And I do not remember how to do the minimums in this plane. That's pretty sad. They're on here somewhere, I think. Course, range. Radio, DME. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've had airports that you just couldn't. It would not make sense to even try. Like way too short with giant trees on both ends. Yeah. How do I set the minimums? The minimums. Okay, before we get to top of descent, I want to slow down a little bit because I don't want to get over speed. I may have to give up on the minimums thing. There they are. I don't remember what it was. 900. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's doing the fun thing now where it's like the frickin' Boeing. Okay, good enough. So I'm guessing missed approach is straight out to Hipvu. Looks like we're gonna have PAPI lights on the left. And the VGSI and descent angle's not coincident, so. Anything else we need to worry about on here? For descent angle of 3.2 degrees at 120, we want to be descending about 700 feet per minute. So we'll be doing 700 to 800 feet per minute until we get close, and then that'll drop down a little bit. I wonder how far out you would call for like uncontrolled airport approach. 10 nautical miles? Maybe we should do it when we enter the RNAV, like at Hopco. I guess I'll do that. It can't hurt. Nobody's out here anyway. Nobody can hear anything. Better to over-communicate, I think. And it is 7:30. So I probably won't be done right at 8, but won't be too late. You watching Last of Us? And also, since there's a delay, I would ask, are you watching Murderbot? Which recently came out. And also, since there's a delay, what rating are you getting? Okay, what do we got? 10 minutes here, and then top of descent, or a little less than 10 minutes. What happened to my my flight path markers here? Nope, not that one. Control. Shoot, I don't remember. Huh. We should watch them. Actually, more than anything, if you haven't, you should read or listen to the audiobook version of the Murderbot series. The first book's called All Systems Red. Highly recommended. The show, the first 2 episodes are out. The show's been okay. Mostly I think they kind of nailed it, but one of the things they got wrong right off the bat, which bothered me, is that why it's called Murderbot, right? They explain it incorrectly in an important way. All right, let's slow down. And actually, I think I just want to go off.
Autopilot.
All right, here we go into the clouds. Let's get our essentials going here. I don't know what this thing is trying to do to me here. Why does it have me turning to the right so much? Just because I'm a little off to the side? I have a huge crosswind right now, 22 knot side wind. That's why I'm drifting further and further to the left. I think our descent path marker's coming up here. Well, now where did it go? It might be leading me astray here because of this. Maybe I need to put, where is it, VNav up? Okay, here it comes. To remember to use my trim wheel. The activation sensitivity is way too high. So let's try and follow the flight path marker thingy here and see what that does. See if it's going to lead me astray or keep me on the straight and narrow. So I got a 20 knot side wind, 10 knot tailwind. Coming into those clouds now. Pretty good on the where we are here. It seems to be working. What's the E? Is that the twin jet or the quad jet? Because I usually do it in something much smaller, like longitude, or I think sometimes you can even find like a vision jet, even though it's a single engine. I think it gives you an E qualification. And I always cheat and use my autopilot. Alright, let's get our lights on. These are already on. Looking good on fuel. What else do we need to do before 10,000? We need to start adjusting our barometer, right? We're gonna go down to 29.81, I think it was. Okay, there we go. All right, we're flying into Nikolai Airport, so let's just, we are, what are we here? Nikolai traffic, November 0120 Sierra Bravo is 15 miles south of Nikolai. Nikolai traffic. I probably should have said what approach I'm on. So as we come into hop go here, we're going to want to start slowing down and getting set up for our approach. Okay, at Nerte we are going to be 12 nautical miles out. We were actually 30 nautical miles out. I misreported there. Nikolai traffic, November 0120 Sierra Bravo is 10 miles from Hopko, entering RNAV 5 or runway 5. Nikolai traffic. Okay, 6 miles from Hopko. Alright, I'm gonna start slowing down just a little bit. Just a random flight. I wanted to make sure I picked airports that had procedures. So I didn't want to mess around in NeoFly. And I'm nowhere near this area in NeoFly. I guess I could be, but... Hey, there we go. Nikolai traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo is at Hopko for RNAV runway 5. Alright, we are looking to be 3,000 feet at Nerte. No procedure turn. Turn to a heading of 49. Nikolai traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo is turning right onto long final at Nerte for runway 5. Okay, flaps. full flaps. Get rid of that. Okay, full flaps, 3 greens. We can turn off that. A little low. Add a little power. Buffeted around a bit by winds, so I'm going to keep the speed up a little bit. This seems like pretty good. Nikolai traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo on final for runway 3. Nikolai traffic. Cool, I'm putting together a list of kind of fun, hard, challenging, interesting airports. Maybe do a run. Like, you know, there's the obvious ones like Courchevel and Saba. There's some other ones. Bacalalan, it's in Malaysia. It's Whiskey Bravo Golf Quebec. If you want to try that one, you want to scope it out before you get in there. And don't come straight over the mountain and try to land straight in. You have to come up the valley and then do a dog leg and land at it. It's a very short runway. Twin Otters tend to land there. I managed to land a PC-12 there. Nikolai traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo, landing runway 3. Nikolai traffic.
takeoff.
I didn't see any parking on the way in here. Do we have to go up to the top here, maybe?
No takeoff. No takeoff.
I guess we'll just park over here on the side. I may need to go find some downloadable scenery for this place. Nikolai traffic, November 012 Sierra Bravo is clear of the runway. Nikolai traffic. Alright, it's 7:58, so I got like 2 minutes. Beautiful. So now to get up the nerve to try it in a controlled space where there's someone power or center or something. Now the way VATSIM works, which is unlike the real world, is they have this cascading thing. So if you have someone controlling center in your area, like let's go look at an area, right? So like let's say you wanted to fly from this airport. Well, there's no tower here. If someone were a tower or whatever, you'd see one of these codes, right? But what you do is you go up the chain, right? So like from an individual airport, you would look for someone being ground or tower or departure or arrivals or whatever at that airport. But if they're not there, like the only thing here is ATIS, you go up to this level. So that's going to be C. So you would go here and you would contract this controller on that frequency, even though you're at some other airport, as long as you're in their space, right? And then there's a wider space here. So like if you were at one of these airports outside of this band, you would contact this frequency. And they would act as tower for any airport in the space that doesn't have someone manning the tower, or like this one has someone at ground. Whatever that one is. Can't quite make it out. Okay, Portland International. I've got the user interface really small so I can see it. I don't need to read the text when I'm looking at the map, but so yeah. So we can close that. We can get shut down here. So really, all we need to do, we can get some lights off here. We just go turn our generator off, turn that off, get emergency power off. I want to make sure our engine shuts down cleanly. And then avionics buses can go off, standby bus off, battery off. Oops, forgot to turn the lights off, but All right, well that's my first on VATSIM flight, even though I didn't talk to anybody other than traffic. Okay, VRMM. That way I can see them. Oh yeah, lots of fun little island. That's a big one. BRDA also. Smaller, smaller. What did this one have? Yeah, that's a big one. Another international. Only 5,000 feet though. 6,000. This one will be small. You could do a whole tour, like fly from airport to airport. They're all pretty decent, and most of them are paved. Were they all? I don't remember if they were all paved, but even that one's asphalt. Oh, whole bunch up here too. Whole bunch. These got to be little tiny islands, though, right? Is there anything on this island? Like, why is there? Okay, helipad. That doesn't count. I've never seen this code. What is it? Macadam. A type of road surface made from broken stone, often bound with a binder like tar or asphalt. It looks a lot like asphalt. Is it the same as asphalt? No. They're not exactly the same, although related and sometimes used interchangeably. So, kind of like asphalt, I guess. And these ones that don't come up are probably helipads or something. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And then Sri Lanka over here, right? They need to do a Sri Lanka world update. Be nice to get more content in there. All right, well, I'm gonna go catch my show. Good. I don't know if I'll be on later or not. Good night, though, just in case.